Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to perform and interpret results of a hypothesis test using a calculator. A software company claims that a new update has increased the average user session time on their app from the previous average of 30 minutes. The company uses their analytics data to assume the population standard deviation of session times is 2.5 minutes. The company records the session times of 10 randomly selected users. You can see the data here. Perform a one-mean hypothesis test at the 5% significance level to assess if the average user session time has increased from the previous average. So the first thing we want to do is we want to come up with our null and alternative hypotheses. The null hypothesis in this case is always the status quo. We assume that things have not changed. So that would mean that the average session time would be 30 minutes. Now this software company is claiming that the new update has increased the user session time. So the alternative hypothesis is that the mean is greater than 30. So now we have to use our calculator to figure out the probability of the new average that this data set will produce. So we're going to go to our stat menu. And we're going to go over to tests. And we're going to do a z-test here because we know the population standard deviation. Now we are given the original data, so we are going to stick to the data column here. We're going to put in our null hypothesis, which is the population mean that existed before. In this case, it's 30. And we know the population standard deviation is 2.5. But now, the list of data points, we need to populate that list. So we're going to go to the Stat Edit menu, and we are going to type in our data values. All right, so we have our 10 data values in there. We can go back to the stat menu, tests, and our information is still in there. We have our 30, we have our 2.5 minutes, which was the standard deviation, and our 30-minute average. Now we need to choose the greater than here because that's our null or alternative hypothesis, and then we calculate. And we can see that our p-value is 0.0057, which is less than the alpha level of 0.05. That means we can reject our null hypothesis. Another way to say this is we have sufficient evidence to claim that the new update to this software has increased the average user session time for the app. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.